Hello everyone and welcome to Road America for the first of the last chance qualifier sessions for round 4, of course, happening on Monday evening. These drivers vying for the remaining 5 positions on the grid slot for round 4 of the championship at, of course, Road America. And at the moment we have Wayne Wortley, who's fastest at the moment, Bongi Mabida and Wesley Ferrant. Matthew Boy in 4th position, and Gerhard Rautenbach in 5th position. And Dion Jonker is on the other server, the LCQ 2 server, and he's currently, his best is at 2 minute 10.673. So Jonker got a bit of work to do. He's about 6 seconds off the pace. But Gerhard Rautenbach joining us this evening as a guest. He's figuring out his pace for the next season. And so he's not actually fighting for position at the moment, but just getting a feel for the pace of the South African simGT field. Of course, we've got 15 drivers who've already qualified for the series split. And of course, therefore, will not be taking part this evening in this session. But at the moment, yeah. It is Wortley, Mabida, Ferrant, Boy and Jonker in the top 5 positions at the moment. And let's see if anybody else will join us this evening. Of course, the second session is happening tomorrow evening from 8 PM until 9:30. That'll be the final session. And the top 5 from the combined lap times from this evening's running and tomorrow evening's running will take the top 5 from those 2 sessions, and that will determine the remaining 5 grid slots for Monday evening's big race. And Jonker improves to 2 minute 10.673. So we're watching Wayne Wortley in the mixed racing white Nissan GTR from this evening. So Wayne Wortley not driving for Dintrin Motorsport any longer. He's joined forces with Gabriel Rousseau in the mixed racing white team. So big news for the championship. And Wayne Wortley finding some great pace here at America, as he did at Road Atlanta. Did very well in the Nissan. So Gabriel Rousseau trying to join the server, just disconnected, so I'm not quite sure if he's just getting his equipment ready, but we think it's safe to assume that we can expect Gabriel Rousseau to join the server. Of course, the current championship leader, the drivers' championship leader and defending champion from last season is Gabriel Rousseau, and he's looking to join the session and knock Dion Jonker off that 5th position. It does show Gerhard Rautenbach in 5th position, but he is not in fact competing this evening. He's using this last chance qualifier as a test session, in fact, before he starts his campaign in 2018, which we look forward to seeing him do. Wayne Wortley escapes to the pits. Wesley Ferrant is also left the server, so perhaps we'll see him back. request from Dion Jonker. He's asking if we can go on board with Wayne Wortley for a lap. Yes, we can do that. Dion, no problem whatsoever. Let's do that. Here's a nice driver's point of view of Wayne Wortley. Dion, I have a tip for you if you're listening. If you can turn your diff settings down, so put power at about 10 and your coast at about 20, that should help the Ferrari go around this track a bit better. So there's a hot tip for you, Dion. So diff setting power at 10 and coast at 20. Try that out. The onboard shots of Wayne Wortley navigating the Road America circuits, using as much as the road as possible. See where Ferrant has rejoined the server in the Lamborghini, the Echo Racing Lamborghini. We saw Wesley Ferrant in a thrilling battle with Bashir Chadwat last evening in the MX-5 Open Series. If you haven't watched that race, you should go and have a look. It was fantastic. It's the race 4 towards the end, the final 3 laps or so. And I got quite a rash commentating on that battle. It was fantastic. Ferrant finding some pace in the Lamborghini here as well. Is at the moment Wayne Wortley leading the way by just 0.1 of a second ahead of Bongi Mabida in the Netcare 911 Porsche. And then we have Wesley Front in the Lamborghini, of course, and Matthew Boy in the Ferrari. And Gerhard Rautenbach in 5th position in the second Porsche for this evening. Dion Jonker in the Ferrari. So nice mixed grid this evening. It's Nissan GTR from Porsche, GT3 from Lamborghini, from Ferrari, from Porsche, and then from Ferrari again. So over 51 minutes left remaining in this qualifier session. There is no actual race this evening. This is the so-called last chance qualifier, the first of 2 sessions. So this is day 1, day 2 happening tomorrow, of course. And this is a fight for the remaining 5 position for the final grid for Monday's evening top split in the South African simGT Series round 4. And 15 drivers already qualified by achieving certain results in the South African Sim M2 Series, and also the previous second split where the top 3 automatically qualify for the top split for the following round. So that's made up the 15, and now we trying to arrange the final 5 positions being fought out for over the course of this evening. So got a number of drivers really practicing in the series split who've already qualified. It's happening at the same time as this session, but this is certainly the focus for the moment. do not have one Audi R8 running so far this evening. A car that's done very well this season. It'll be fantastic to see if Gabriel will join the server and see what he can do against Wayne Wortley. It'll be quite a big battle, I think, this evening, if that can happen. As I'm sure Dion is studying Wayne Wortley's lap, we'll let Wayne finish this lap, and then before we change views to another car perhaps. Dion commenting in the YouTube live chat that when he hits those curbs, the apex, my car goes nuts. Then I suggest that you raise the car, Dion. Raise it by maybe 5-10 millimeters all around and see if that helps. So perhaps soften the ARB settings and also soften the spring rates. Try that. We now watch Racing Front in the Eco Racing Lamborghini Huracan. Oh, a bit of wobble there for Front. He's unfortunately going to have to abandon that lap. And we're going to have a look at Matthew Boy in the Ferrari, the simGT Racing Ferrari. Oh, big moment. Use too much curb there for Matthew Boy. He's going to abandon that lap as well. Ferrant is back out. And starts another out lap. See, Ferrand getting it all wrong. He recovers. Hello, Carl Swanepoel. Straight back at you. Well, Carl, you've got 40 minutes to learn the circuit to get a flying lap at the end. How's that? When you jump in there. Plenty of space. But Carl, have you not qualified already for the series split? I think you might have, huh? Let's see. Yes, Carl, you've already qualified for the series split, so you don't need to do the LCQ. So there we go. Yeah, that's a strategy, keeping your pace a secret. That's the way. Oh, big moment there for Wesley Ferrand. Actually caught that delayed on watching the YouTube live stream. But yeah, that happened a bit early on. Never mind. So Dion Yonko is still, his best time still at 2:10.673. Let's see if he can improve. Not on this lap, he's currently on an out lap. board Matthew Boyd. Difficult corner there. It's sort of unsighted apex. You sort of just arrive and suddenly the apex is in your face. You've got to trust your turn in. Go for it. Matthew Boyd using lots of the sort of circuit. Nicely done. Hard braking for this left-hander. Letting the car run wide, use as much of the curb as possible. Then this long right-hander. You'll see different approaches from different drivers through here. Matthew Boyd deciding to hug the inner part of the circuit and let the car run wide towards the end. Not a bad strategy. We have this fast right-hander absolutely flat out. Under braking for this right-hander. Nice turn in, nice and smooth by Matthew Boyd. Always run wide. He lost a bit of time there. You can see that in his delta. So now 3/10 of his best delta time. Down the main straight we go to start another flying lap. And Gabriel has suddenly done a 2:03.864. Take that, everybody else. That is a good 7/10 of a second quicker than Wayne Wortley. So the Audi R8, the mixed racing white Audi R8 of Gabriel goes fastest of all. Lays down the gauntlet for everybody else. So of course Rousseau, the defending champion from the 2017.1 season, and now defending his driver's title in the 2017.2 season. So man is absolutely on form, on fire this season, and been unbeatable so far this season in the South African simGT series, and possibly could wrap up the championship this Monday evening. He needs to finish 5th place or higher, no matter where the others finish, to be crowned the 2017.2 South African simGT series champion. Carl Swanepoel asking in the YouTube live chat if we're running in the same BOP for 2018.1. Carl, I cannot confirm that at the moment. There may be changes, there might not be changes. We also need to see if there is an update to Assetto Corsa during that time or whatever else, because Assetto Corsa does, I mean the developers of Assetto Corsa do sometimes BOP the cars after an update. But certainly I do feel that the cars are pretty close at the moment. The only place for concern perhaps is the McLaren. Perhaps it was too harshly dealt with. 53% of its restrictor plates used, and we don't see any McLarens in this championship, so perhaps we'll see a change there. But yeah, maybe 1 or 2 changes, I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see how we go. Just speaking about the BOP, we had a change for this current season in that the last season we ran a success ballast system, ballast being added onto the cars that do well regardless of manufacturer. It's more sort of where the driver comes, and then we would add 30 kilograms to somebody who won a race and try and balance the cars throughout the season. But there was a feeling that perhaps we were penalizing the drivers that are really trying hard and putting them in the practice time, and it was proving pretty disheartening for the drivers putting in the most work, as it were, to be slowed down for the next race. And yeah, we're still learning about BOP and what exactly to do. And then we change it for this season, where we try to balance the cars before the season started and not to touch the cars again before the season ends. And I think we've seen much closer racing this season that way. And yeah, we'll develop the balance of performance system perhaps a bit further for next season. But I think it's pretty close at the moment. There's perhaps some concern that the Audi R8 is the fastest car by a margin, but I'm not so convinced. If you look at the BMW M2, South African Sim M2 series, running all the same cars, a one-make series, and sort of the order of drivers is basically the same in the South African simGT series. So that does tell me that the cars are pretty well balanced, and perhaps it's more about the driver. Yeah, absolutely. Top cars deserve to be the top cars. Yes, absolutely. And, yeah, it's a difficult. Yeah, it's sort of a tightrope balancing act between, you know, you want close racing, but at the same time, you want the drivers who are putting in the most effort to reap those rewards of their work, and to be at the front if they deserve that, and not necessarily just to slow them down to improve the show. It's perhaps, in hindsight, is perhaps what was being done without me even thinking about that side of it, and hence the reason why we've gotten this route for this season. Watching Gabriel Sona. He is on a flying lap. He's a 2/10 best down in his best lap time, Delta time that is. And Sona suddenly found a 10th up on his best lap time. And it's edging towards 2/10. Can he keep this up? Yeah, I think that's a good word, Carl. A refinement to the bar, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah, refinements is a good word. Yeah, won't be too much change. So now, oh, he would have been 3/10 up on his best after time, and he threw it away on the last corner, just pushing that a bit too hard, asking too much of the tires. So at the moment we've got mixed racing. What? That team first and second in the session so far. Gabriel and Wayne Wortley teammates from this race onwards. And yeah, different cars at the moment, but perhaps we'll see them using the same car for the 2018.1 season. Dion Yonka still the sole runner in the LCQ2 server. Not to be confused with the second split server. It's just we run out of capacity in this server. We can run 20 cars, 20 pre-booked cars. And Dion Yonka was booked into the next 20, as it were, just simply because of capacity reasons. But still the sole runner in that other server. And so at the moment we've got 6 runners. We had 7 with Gerhard Rautenbach, but he's left the server. Unfortunately, he wasn't vying for a position anyway. We're simply using this session as a test to evaluate his pace for next season. So we look forward to Gerhard Rautenbach joining the season. And of course, if you're watching this, you want to join the racing sim race South Africa, you're very welcome to. And if you want to start sort of slow and get into it, you're welcome to join the Open Sim MX5 series, the MX5 Cup car that we run there. And that's the next race is on Wednesday evening, 2 weeks time. We had a race last evening, which has proved very exciting. And you can visit our website at simracesa.co.za, register on our forum, and yeah, put your name down for your first open race with us. And if you want to jump straight into it, you're welcome to have a look at the 2017.2 Getting Started page. Have a read and then fill out and submit that form at the form at the bottom. And then I'll get back to you with an email in reply as soon as possible. Back to action now. Gabriel still leads the way with a 2:03.864. 7/10 up on teammate Wayne Wortley. And Bongi Mabida is very quick here at Road America. Just a quick at Road Atlanta, but continuing his pace here with a 2:04.613, just a 1/10 of a second behind Wortley, not even. It's half a 1/10. Wesley Ferrant here, the 2:05.781 in 4th position, and Matthew Boy with a 2:06.810. So those top 5 are your current top 5 runners for the final 5 slots for Monday evening's race. And this is Stephen Sparks has joined the fold in the Sparks Racing Audi. He's put in a 2:09.304. So, and we see Dion York has also improved to a 2:09.465. So, but those 2 drivers, a bit of work to do to catch up to Matthew Boy with that valued 5th position. They've got 3 seconds to find. They've got 26 minutes in this session and another 90 minutes in tomorrow night's session. Yes, you're quite right, Carl. Yeah, Bongi did qualify for the 2017.1 LCQ at Road America. Yeah, I do remember that. It's very true. So Bongi Mabida, somewhat of a Road America specialist. Maybe throwing around big words now. But yeah. We're going to go on board with Gabriel Rousseau, the defending champion. Seen a lot of focus from Gabriel Rousseau, not taking part in the qualifying championship, the South African Sim M2 series, putting all his energy and focus into the South African simGT series, only running the LCQ, and making sure that he picks up the quickest time, gets onto the grid for the top split. And has every race since, I think, been in pole position in the top split in the South African simGT series, and then going on to win those races. Every race this season so far, unbeaten record for Gabriel. So wow, can anybody upset that record? And so Rousseau abandons that lap. Now it's Stephen Sparks in the Sparks Racing Audi R8. Oh, a moment there for Steven Sparks, but understeer. And then it quickly turned into oversteer, as that often does happen. So 23 minutes remaining in the session. Is Rousseau from Wortley, from Mabita, from Ferrant, from Boy. Those are your top 5. And the 5 drivers that are provisionally going through to the grid for the top split for that race on Monday evening. Round 4 of the championship. Can anyone upset those times? At the moment I can't see it happening. But still plenty of time to use. If anybody wants to come chat to me on the live stream as a co-commentator, I'm in the general lobby on our Discord server. So I'm just gonna be sneaky and sit there for a while and see if anybody joins us. Might catch someone out, but we'll see what happens. So we've got 21 minutes remaining, and yeah, not much has changed since I said 22 minutes remaining. Wayne Wortley now on another outlap before he starts another flyer. What can he do about his teammate Gabriel? So 7/10 to find. Is it in that Nissan? Got Wesley Ferrant in the Lamborghini following Wayne Wortley. Perhaps trying to learn something. Following the big Nissan GTR around. And Wayne Wortley finding some good pace in this GTR, showing coming up with a podium at Road Atlanta during the last round. Okay, that'll be a great call if you come and join me in Discord. There's someone to chat to during the final 20 minutes of the session. Carl Swanepoel, of course, the driver of the KDS Motorsport BMW Z4 GT3 in the South African simGT series. He has already qualified for the next round, the top split race on Monday evening. Wayne Wortley looking for the slipstream from Steven Sparks, but Sparks says no, I'm going to slow down and pull aside, not assist you with a good run down the main straight. Rousseau an absolute fly. He's half a tenth up on his best delta time at the moment. It's go on board with Gabriel Rousseau. Seeing a lot of the track down the main straight. He's going to improve here by almost a tenth. I should give him a 203.6 flat or so. Not quite. 203.648 does Gabriel Rousseau go, so he improves. 203.648. So good 8 tenths quicker than Wayne Wortley. We're so late on the brakes, and that's where you get your time from. To be fast, first you need to learn how to brake. Braking as late as possible. You hear stories of Lewis Hamilton's father during the karting days, watching Lewis's competitors going on the circuit, and then Anthony Hamilton taking note of where they're braking and then walking sort of 2 good strides further up the track and saying, Lewis, I want you to brake here now. You need to be able to brake here. And that is where Lewis Hamilton gets his timer, and he's under the brakes. So you watch him in a Grand Prix and you watch how he sort of, if you're ever able to watch sort of his pedal inputs under braking, you'll see he almost warns the brakes what's going to happen, sort of almost like gets a feel for the brakes and then slams on the brakes and then releases quickly. It applies the same principle in sim racing. So that you'll generally watch the quickest guys and their lines are the same and the way they exit the corners and they turn in, but the difference is under braking. That is where the pace comes from. See Rousseau on the brakes immediately when he comes off the brake, he's back on the power. There's no coasting time. Brake, turn in, on the brakes, on the power. Okay, a bit of time there between braking, accelerating, actually abandons that lap. So, and Rousseau improved again to a 203.515. So now second faster than second place man Wayne Wortley. But Peter's still in third, Ferrant in fourth, Matthew Boy in fifth position, and Stephen Sparks has improved to a 208.304. Dion Yonka is still with a 209.465. Bongi Mabidi now leaves the pit lane for another run. He's going to join just in front of Wayne Wortley. Wortley also escapes the pits. Stephen Sparks heads out for another run too.
Hello.
Hello, is that Carl?
Yes, I'm in.
Hey, welcome Carl to the live stream. How are you
Thank
doing
you.
today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
Good.
watching a very exciting last chance qualifier session.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just watching it a moment ago.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, welcome. So tell me, Carl, have you done any laps around the circuit yet?
I have. Haven't really focused that much on flying laps.
Okay.
More because the race is more important than one qualifying lap.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, once you find the groove on this track, there's a big difference between I think where I would say where Steven is right now and Dion. Once they find that groove to jump down to where Matthew and Wesley and Bongi are, it happens quite quickly because that happened with me running the first few laps. But once it happens, it comes quickly.
Okay, well, and how do you think the BMW will fare compared to other cars? Are you confident?
Look, there's a lot of long straights on the track, but then again, it's all about how you get out of the corner before you get onto the straight. Yeah. So it's a bit iffy. I would say that if I don't get a good run out of the corner and I've got somebody like a Wayne Wortley behind me in a GTR, then I'll probably be against.
Yeah.
But if I get a good drive out of the corner.
Yeah, you'll be hoping that the next corner comes up quickly. the BMW does that, tend to do a bit better than the Nissan. Yeah.
Exactly. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the final straight, and it's the straight after the second corner that are really the ones to worry about. And then you've got the long right-hander, which leads into the straight with the right-hand kink on the second part of the lap, which it's all dependent on how you get out of the corner, depending on where you're gonna be at the end of the straight.
Absolutely.
But it will be interesting. It will be good.
Yeah.
It's quite a low downforce circuit, so it's we tend to run a little bit less wing, so the BMW is a little less affected than maybe on some other tracks.
Oh, and Carl, if you can just give us a bit of a rundown about your sim racing background. How did it start for you? Are you new to it? Are you an old hand at sim racing? Yeah.
I wouldn't say an old hand.
Okay.
I started playing the DOS GP racing way back when I was a kid.
Wow.
My dad and I were talking about that. Okay. My dad and I were talking about that this weekend. That was a lot of fun. And I grew up on the PlayStation Formula 1 games and Gran Turismos and all of those things. And I think where I got into racing properly with a steering wheel was when Forza 2 came out on the Xbox 360. Okay. And yeah, we picked up a wheel and started just running times, online and to improve the whole time. And about 3 years ago, I decided to get into this properly and started racing in R Factor. And that's pretty much where I did most of my online racing was R Factor endurance racing. Okay. A few shorter races, but most of the stuff that I've been doing has been LMP2 and LMP1 racing, but 90-minute, 2-hour races, those kind of things.
Okay, it's an interesting background. Yeah, I started. I'm 32 years old now, and I started sim racing when I was about 15 or so. I mean, I was always into cars. My father always into cars. We had a big garage at home. And my father and I, we restored a 1967 MGB GT together over 7 years. Yeah, we've always been to motorsport, watching Formula 1 every Sunday from when I when I was in nappies. Yeah, then I didn't really know about proper sim racing. When I was about 13 when I got the first PlayStation. And then I sort of stumbled across Gran Turismo, and then I got that, and it was Gran Turismo until I was about 16 or so. And then I was at a LAN one Saturday, and a friend of mine was sort of getting ready for, setting up his PC, and suddenly he had this copy of GT Legends next to his computer.
Yes.
And I was like, what is that? And he said, well, it's GT Legends, it's a simulator. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I always thought, Gran Turismo is, it's a driving simulator and all the rest of it. Yes. And then he said, yeah, take it, you borrow it, and let me, you take it, enjoy it. So I was like, oh, great, thank you. And anyway, I took it home and I set it up, and, I just had a keyboard and I didn't have a wheel yet or anything. And I was just like, I couldn't believe the physics of this GT Legends game. And it totally blew the water, away from Gran Turismo, and I was totally hooked. And I sold the PlayStation, and I upgraded my PC, and then it was GT Legends. Then I got a Logitech Momo wheel second hand on bid or buy, and I kept that copy of GT Legends for about 8 years before I gave it back. And then I started racing in GTR 2. On the Gamers Crib League as well, I really enjoyed that, then right up until 6 years ago when I started, was it 6 years now? Could be 6 years. I started SimRace South Africa, and we started on the GTR 2 platform. And,
I saw that.
And then we made the switch to Assetto Corsa. I think, what is it, 4 years ago or so when it came out, and been great fun along the way.
No, that's awesome. It's amazing how the GTR 2 platform has still managed to hold its own.
Yes, absolutely.
It's still one of my go-to sims if I just feel like racing the M3 GTR or the 350Z, some of those nostalgic cars. It's really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely. You could argue it's the most complete sim ever made to this day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that the modern sims need to study about GTR 2 and bring that back into the games, into the sims. And we'll see what happens. There's talk of GTR 3 coming, but that's been spoken about for a number of years now, and hopefully it still happens.
The GTR 3 would be amazing. If they stick to the sort of the same formula that they had with GTR 2, then I think they've got a winning recipe. I think Project Cars has tried to sort of emulate what GTR started, but I think they kind of missed the mark in the sense that they've gone really big with the whole. I think too much, and maybe a little less focus on the specifics. The specific cars and the focus on how they react towards the tracks and those kind of things. I haven't tried the new Project Cars, but the previous Project Cars was difficult.
Project Cars 1 was, for me personally, a disappointment. The feel wasn't quite there. Also from a league management point of view, it was very tricky to sort of work and manage. And Project Cars 2, I've got it, and I'm very impressed with the physics. I think that's come a long way. The graphics were never a problem with Project Cars. Project Cars 2, they're even better. But unfortunately, from a league management point of view, it's just not there. It's just not as user-friendly as I need it to be. But perhaps it will improve over the next couple of patches, I'm not sure. But unfortunately, my experience with it is it's just not quite there. It's not the polished product that it should be. Which is a huge pity, because it's got massive potential, but it just needs to do that final 20% to complete.
Again, the refinement.
There we go, the 80-20 rule that's often spoke about. What's very exciting about R Factor 2 is Studio 397, the new developers of the sim. They're really putting it together nicely now. And now we're able to buy car packs, and I would assume that we'll be able to buy track packs shortly as well. So that'll be exciting. Yeah.
I see they've just run an update on the GT3 pack, which looks really good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you've obviously tried the new update.
Yes.
And how does it feel?
I've actually only driven the McLaren at the moment. I entered the McLaren's World's Fastest Gamer competition, but I didn't get to put in enough time as I would have wanted to. But yeah, I was very impressed. I thought it felt really great. And now I just would like the sim to be refined more to accommodate DirectX 11. There's a lot of mods and stuff out there, but they're not DirectX 11 sort of compatible at the moment, I found. And I'm sure a lot of work's being put into to put that together nicely.
Yeah, I think it's quite a small team of guys, but they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
So we just got a minute and a half remaining in this day one of the last chance qualifier session, and this is Gabriel Rousseau leading the way. The 2:03.515. It's pretty quick. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching this now or later on tomorrow to see how quick the times are. Bongi Mabida, Wayne Watley in second with a 2:04.583. Bongi Mabida with a 2:04.613. Wesley Front, I think, did a 2:05.7. So he's in fourth with Matthew Boy in fifth position. So those are your top five at the moment. And those drivers provisionally have earned a grid slot for Monday evening's race, which you've already qualified for, Carl.
Somehow I managed to, yes.
And that was in the M2 series race.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Look, I think Wayne and Wesley, and there was somebody else who also couldn't make the race. I think had they been in there, it would have been tight. But so the field was a little bit thin, but I'm not complaining. I don't have to compete with the likes of I don't have to compete for the last four positions. Yeah, the last chance qualifier is always quite tough because it's really stressful, and you know that in practice you could pull the lap together, but you've only got 90 minutes to do it, and sometimes you just don't hit the mark.
Yeah. Because Carl, you had quite a good run in Road Atlanta, I think.
I did. It was just a bit unfortunate with the incident with Jacobs.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a bit of a coming together when he came back on track. But the car was feeling really good. I had good pace. I was running consistent times in practice, so I felt good for the race. But unfortunately, I got stuck at the back of the field and had to come in, fix the car, put on the hard tires, fill the car up, and it wasn't quick enough on the hards, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's great to see you finding some pace in the BMW, and hopefully you can carry that over into this race. So
yeah, I hope so too.
Excited to see how you get on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, put some good practice in.
Yeah, absolutely. We are in the dying moments of the session, and Rousseau's on a flying lap. It is a 10th down at the moment. Let's see if we can pull it back. And, yes, he's gaining time all the time. No, just a 10th down. Let's see if we can improve on that 2:03.515. And just 3 corners remaining for this lap. Watley has not improved over the last half an hour, still with a 2:04.583. Mabida is still a 10th behind him with a 2:05.613. And Rousseau unfortunately has made an error and he's abandoned that lap. Wayne Watley completes his last flying lap, and that is the session done and dusted. Well, I think that concludes this evening's session, day one of the last chance qualifier for round 4 of the championship at Road America. And please come and join us for day 2 tomorrow evening from 8 p.m. I will be in commentary, and I hope somebody will join me as well. Perhaps Carl, if you've got some time, you're welcome to join me for that session. And
yeah, I'll twist the wife's arm and see what I can do.
Yeah, you do that. Okay. Well, until tomorrow evening, thank you very much, everyone, and have a great evening.